Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue and I am back for a Queen Sugar 2-in-1 review. I don't know what happened, but I saw the first episode and then I think 2 episodes happened on one day. So we're just gonna do both of them one after another and hopefully this won't be too long. Get ready for Queen Sugar, y'all. Get your snacks. So apparently Nova is trying to raise money for a community bail fund. Okay, she's doing a fundraiser later in the week and she stops by the local barber shop to pick up the tip jar that ain't got nothing in it now, y'all. Okay, it sounds like some jingle. We need something that folds. Okay, and it just so happens that the barber who owns the shop his real name is Johans. I went to LSU with him. We were both in the theater program. But you know, LSU only allows like 2 black people to be really in shit at one time, at least when I was there. And it was Johans and another little black chick, I forgot her name, but them 2. And that was because me and Johans actually like talked and stuff like that. I'm biased cooking for the event and Nova drops by and Charlie's there. And Charlie tells them that today is supposed to be like the last day of mediation between her and Davis. Also, y'all, it's so hard to watch Micah go through this. He is really having a hard time, and Charlie is trying to, you know, just keep moving and keep doing everything she's trying to get accomplished on top of being a mama, on top of dealing with the divorce. It's a lot, and Micah is not being, you know, verbal at all about how he's feeling. And Nova goes to check on him, and he's in the back and just kind of spaced out, thinking real hard, you know, and then he says he's okay, and it doesn't seem like he's okay. And I really hope that if he doesn't get past it, he starts to talk about it, because if he doesn't, then it's going to create something more in his personality and how he looks at the world. And the world is what it is, and sometimes as a little black boy you got to be woken up to know that it does not matter that your daddy is rich. You are still a nigga. We all know that Ralph Angel has been fighting with Charlie with the whole control over who makes the decisions for the farm. At the end of the day, she may have bankrolled the situation, but he is the one that actually works the land. And he had the idea that to use the land they're not using for sugarcane for soybean, because it sells. People buy soybeans. You make all kinds of shit with soy, okay? It's a good thing. It's what a farmer would do, okay, as far as everybody that farms is concerned. They think he's making great decisions. Charlie, on the other hand, feels like she should be asked before he spends $200 on soybean seeds. So she puts a block on the account that says that both of their signatures are required in order for him to take $200 out of the money. That is fucking ridiculous, okay? He tries to call her, but she not answering the phone. Then he talks to, you know, I'm buying them, and they let him know that she's going through it right now with these divorce proceedings. So in order to get some type of understanding of Charlie's mindset, Ralph Angel decides to talk to Remy. And we all know that last episode when I was fucking his name up because it had been a minute since I seen the show. Remy broke things off with Charlie because he kind of felt like as long as she's still in business and dealings with Davis West, she will never be able to be fully his. And he's not the type of man that can go second or be a side nigga. Okay, that's not how he rolls. So he broke things off. So when, you know, Ralph Angel comes to talk to him about her, he's kind of like defensive because he's like, look, me and your sister not dealing with each other no more. I don't know what you want me to say. But he tells him about the soybean problem, and he's like, you know what? You need to try to get a micro loan or some shit like a macro loan, I think that's what it was called. But get him a loan that they have for farmers who are just starting out, who have land, who have a business that they can put up for collateral, but he has to have Charlie sign off on signing up half of his ownership of the property for collateral in order to get the loan in the first damn place. So he still needs Charlie's help. This is when Ralph Angel starts to think about whether he should pull that letter out that he found from his daddy, basically scrapping the first will that they found, saying that he really wanted the land to be left to Ralph Angel only because he really wanted his son to have something of his own, to feel like he was a man in this world. You know what I mean? And with the Landrys and the Boudreaux and how they have always tried to keep their foot on their family's neck, I feel like this is something especially that he wanted to do to empower Ralph Angel. But Ralph Angel is walking slow because he does not want to mess up the situation with all the family that, you know, because it's a family business. And I think at the end of the day, everybody wanted everybody to be involved. It wasn't just, oh, Charlie take control, Ralph Angel take control. I think everybody wanted to be in it together because they felt like, you know, this is going to bring us closer. And it did. Nova comes into the diner. She's trying to, you know, talk to Ralph Angel to get him to come out because because he should know how it is when young black men don't have no money and they trying to raise bail and they've been put in jail for some minor fucking offense that, you know, just so somebody else can make some money, you know. So she's trying to get him to come out, and she's, you know, say, hey brother, I see what you're doing, I love you, I see you doing a good job. And, you know, she's patting him on the back, but he's too busy being pissed off about Charlie, so he can't even really take in what Nova is saying, and kind of throws her to the side and say, nah, he's too busy to come to her event that night. But that was also because at the beginning of the episode, he brought Darla some beignets and some cafe au lait and asked her if she wanted to go out on a real date with him. And they have to bring Blue on the date, which was like, oh my God, who wants to go out on a first date with their son? You know what I'm saying? Not a first date, but you know, they're trying to rekindle something. They're trying to work, you know, slow and try to make this relationship something with a real good foundation. And I feel like sometimes when you're always with your kid, you don't get a chance to just be adults together. And even though, y'all, the story of my grandparents, okay, about how my grandmother was married and so was my grandfather before they got together, but they grew up in the same project, so they always knew each other. When both of their marriages had ended, my grandmother had my aunt who was still like a young baby, and the first date that they went on together, my aunt was there. So she always grew up feeling like my grandfather was her father because that's the only father she knew, which is how we roll in our family. Whoever raised you, that's your fucking parent, okay? Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We don't do that. So I think this is cute at the end of the day. But y'all, Blue is such a little boy with the singing and humming and playing with the doll all over the damn place. And they was really trying to have a moment. And Darla eventually tells him, you know, Blue, stop that, sit down. And Ralph Angel gets so defensive on behalf of his son. He gets defensive with the waiter who comes to the table and says, oh, that's your dog. You know what? You should really get a transformer. Those are cool. I didn't feel like he was trying to make the little boy feel bad, but everybody knows that it's fucking weird for a little boy to be walking around with one favorite Barbie doll. Like, I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but it was weird for where we at. Okay, I'm just saying. And I don't feel like the waiter was trying to be an asshole. He was just saying, you know, Transformers do a whole bunch of extra shit. You know, Barbie dolls are just Barbie dolls. They're pretty. But Transformers, like, you know, you pull shit out and they move and all kinds. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just extra shit as far as I'm concerned. I didn't take it the way Ralph Angel took it, but he got pissed off. And Darla was really the one who was level-headed in the situation. As much credit as we like to give to Ralph Angel for being the consummate parent and always being the one that is there for their kid, it seems like Darla, when she is on her shit and healthy, is the one that brings the level-headedness and also the common sense into the picture, okay? She's like, look, I don't want my son acting like this when we're out, so I just want him to sit the hell down and calm down, you know, with the doll and all of that type of shit. And still tip the guy, because at the end of the day, he gave you good service, and you don't want to, you know, have a bad example for your son. Set a bad example for your son. You know, just a look at their relationship and how they might turn out. If they can keep their shit together, they might be able to take over the world. Okay, like, you know, in so many words. I really like Darla and Ralph Angel. They so cute together, right? Oh my God. So Charlie and Davis have their final mediation, and y'all, I have to tell y'all that I actually did meet and interview the guy who plays Davis West. I can't remember his whole name, but he was such a nice guy, had such good energy and a really sexy voice. You know, because we hate him on the show, and he knows that people hate him on the show. But you know, because I asked him how was it filming in New Orleans, what does he like about it, and all of that type of stuff on my news station, and he was just very nice and just said how much he loves the food, he loves the culture, he loves how we say hey baby, you know. He loved how we talk and stuff like that. We have a very unique accent. It was really cool to interact with him. So yeah, y'all, I just have to throw that out there. But anyway, they sit down to have their mediation, and Davis has everybody cleared out of the room, and they're all like, what's going on? And Charlie's like, what do you want? You know, what do you want? You start going through the properties and all of that shit, and basically what he wants is joint custody. He feels like after what happened to Micah, it is very important for him as a father to be in his son's life. And I feel that way too. I feel like he needs to feel the protection of his father. Whether it's his father's reputation, his father's money, whatever it may be, he needs to feel the protection of both of his parents. The nurturingness of his mother and the protection that his daddy can give him. Because at the end of the day, I do think that Davis loves Micah very much. and is doing this for the right reasons. I felt like Charlie was the one that was being stubborn. She got so pissed off after he told her that Micah said he wanted joint custody. And Micah didn't really say that in so many words, but that's what he needs right now. But Charlie ain't trying to hear that shit. So she leaves and goes to his school, and he's not there. He's walking around New Orleans in a fucking daze. And I'm like, boy, you walking around in that uniform and shit, but it should be fine. I mean, we used to walk around the streets all the time, and nothing ever happened to us, but that was also pre-Katrina. Okay, I'm just saying. So, you know, he's walking around all day, all night. You know, Charlie is really kind of losing her mind a little bit. She tries to call her mom, and her mom doesn't answer, but she leaves a message for her. And it's kind of a lingering moment where we figure out something isn't right with her relationship with her mom, and why haven't we seen her mom yet, you know? But that's just something that they set up that I think will come into fruition later if I'm, you know, looking at it correctly. But Micah ends up walking up on Nova's events, fundraiser, and the police are in the background, and he's standing there listening to her talk so strong. And you know, we are our people, we are real people, and you cannot just step over these black bodies and discard them like they don't mean anything. We are people, we are here, you know what I mean? Like, just giving a speech to uplift and really help the men out there who are affected, and let the police know, you know, we see you, okay, we see you. All right, and it ain't going down like that. We're gonna do everything in our power to make sure that we make a clearer path for our men and for our young boys, so they don't keep getting caught up in this fucked up ass systematic racism that is the justice system. Okay. And she sees Micah, you know, standing there in the middle of the crowd, and she runs to him and hugs him. And you know, I feel like out of all of this, Nova has really been the one there for him in a way that I think Charlie doesn't know how to be there for him, you know? So Vi is still at the diner, and Roberta, y'all know that fast tail girl who does the, you know, clean the tables and all of that, one of the waitresses, that little fast tail girl that we don't really like, you know, she was all sweet on Hollywood, tells Vi that an explosion happened on the rig that Hollywood works on. So she's calling him, trying to reach him, and he's not answering the phone. It was very fucking like nerve-wracking. I'm like, they better not kill Hollywood off. I can't take this, okay? I cannot take it. They kill Hollywood off in this type of way, okay? The rig shit is real. You know what I'm saying? You're out there in the middle of the fucking water. If anything happens, you know, you kind of stuck. You know what I mean? So it's a very scary situation. My uncle works on rigs and shit, or did. They make a nice little bit of money, but they're always gone. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, Charlie goes over to Remy's house because she doesn't know who else she can talk to right now. And Remy is there, and he kind of has his hand up over the door like he doesn't want to let her in. And it's because today is the anniversary of his wife's death. And she comes in, and he starts to explain what happened. He's very emotional. The shots that they do are beautiful. Let me tell you something. The director of photography for this show is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, like, I forgot his name. I googled him the other day, but he has done some really great work, and to see him on this show, you know what I'm saying, is different from a lot of the other works that he's done. But he's a great eye. I'm just saying, like, if y'all look at how the shots are set up, everything is colorful. They definitely put effects on the videos to bring out the color, and the pictures are on the wall. And when you're having a certain scene, the way they position the camera so that you'll have more space or more eye of the space that they're in, and not just the person. And even in scenes where Remy is crying and explaining what happened to his wife, they keep this shot where it's on the side of his face. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put it up there for y'all to see, but it's a different feel. It definitely has a personalized type of feel to the way they shoot Queen Sugar. And as a person that does shoot and edit and is in that, you know, post-production business, it's so beautiful to look at. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate the aesthetics of Queen Sugar. But anyway, the reason why I say that is because while he's explaining this heartbreaking situation about his wife being in the reserves, and they're driving over one of those bombs that blew up, and that's how she died, and he's explaining this to Charlie, but at the same time we're going back and forth to Aunt Vi standing outside the bus stop waiting to see if Hollywood gets off the bus. And we keep watching her standing there biting her nails and shaking, and you know, they take a shot of the bus and somebody's coming off and we can't see who it is, and we're trying to see if it's Hollywood. And we go back and forth between the two scenes and between the shots enough times for me to get fucking emotional and start to cry, okay? And as soon as Hollywood walks off that damn bus and she sees him and she runs towards him and hugs him and they kiss, y'all, I was in the car crying, okay, because I was watching in my car. I can cry right now. It was so beautifully done, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It gave you that emotion, y'all. Queen Sugar takes me there. I'm just telling you, I'm so glad Hollywood alive, because my feelings was really gonna be hurt if Hollywood was dead. And same thing with the photography as it pertains to the last scene with Nova at her fundraiser, and Micah standing in the background and she runs to hug him and the police lights are blaring in the background and she's standing there being there for him, and he's vulnerable in this, you know, this situation with the same people that he's afraid of, the same people that have caused this wreck and how he feels as a person, standing right behind him while his aunt holds him. You know what I'm saying? It's all very beautiful and done in such a way that it's purposeful. You know what I'm saying, y'all? I might be getting a little bit too in depth, but I'm just telling y'all, like, I'm noticing these things about Queen Sugar and they're very much appreciated, okay? So the next morning, Aunt Vi and Hollywood have got them a hotel room and have not wasted any time making up for the wasted time, because he only has 48 hours before he has to get back on his rig. And they are in the bed in flagrante delicto and having a very good time, loving up on each other, being happy that Hollywood's ass ain't dead, okay? Micah spent the night over at Nova's house, and Charlie goes to pick him up, and Nova talks to Charlie and tells her about what's really going on with Micah. She's so busy worrying about what's going on with the business, and she's worried about him, don't get me wrong, but I feel like she doesn't see what's happening to him, and when she does have the realization, it's kind of scary for her, because how do you handle it? Your son tells you he wants space, but your sister just told you that he's not eating, he's not talking, all he does is sleep, and he wet himself the night that y'all got him out of the police station. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot. As a mother, I don't think I could give you space. Like, I don't think I could give you space. I would want to hug you and then kiss on you and make you feel as safe as I possibly can. I wouldn't want to give you space. But Charlie has to do what she has to do, and she does her best to give him space. Micah asks her if she's divorced now, because he knows that the divorce proceedings just happened. And she says no, but she asked him, did you tell your father you wanted joint custody, that you wanted us to have joint custody? And he didn't say anything. She was like, that's what I thought. Ralph Angel has a meeting with his parole officer, and he shows his parole officer the will that his father left, and he's like, yeah, bro, this will definitely stand up in court. And Ralph Angel's like, in court? He was like, yeah, bro, like, your sister could possibly sue you for this shit, and you're gonna have to present this in order to win your case, to say that the land was really meant for you and not for all of you, you know. And it just never occurred to Ralph Angel that it can go that way. And this is what I'm saying. Don't nobody want fucking Charlie on their bad side. I'm just saying, I wouldn't want Charlie on my bad side, especially if that's my sister and I can have her in my corner. I would rather have her in my corner, you know? So it's definitely something for Ralph Angel to think about as it pertains to letting everybody know about this new will. So a drone was flying over their property, and Blue was following it, and Ralph was washing the dishes, and he hears him yell, and he runs outside, and the drone is falling on the floor, and he looks at the camera. He picks it all up, puts it in a garbage bag, and goes over to the Boudreaux and the Landrys, where one of the sons, cousins, whatever the fuck is. And he tells him, look, bro, I ain't gonna tell you no more time. Stay off my fucking land, bro. You think I don't know what you're doing, but I know exactly what you're doing. And dude trying to chest up to him and all of that shit. I don't know what you're talking about, but you know what? You should watch your son out here playing by himself. Anything can happen. Ralph turns around, snatches him up like, motherfucker, you can play with me if you want to. And dude like, yeah, please do it. Please do it so I can put your ass back in jail, convict. And he let him go. He was like, ho, 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 boy, 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 boy. And he let him go. And he didn't tell Charlie about that. He didn't tell Charlie about that. She did not know. And when she did find out, she was pissed off because she felt like he should have consulted with her, because he can handle it possibly in his jailbird way and end up fucking up the farm or fucking up the money or whatever. And Ralph Angel was like, no, I need you to understand that there is a certain way that this needs to be handled, so that they can understand from all ways around we ain't fucking playing with you. They in the bed, you know, Blue is in the bed with his daddy, and they sleeping, and he hears something. He goes outside with a shotgun because he knows something going on. He looked out the window and saw some dudes with masks on in a truck outside on his land. So he runs out there, he fires 2 warning shots, and he runs up on him, and they see him and they start to jet. They pulling his cane and putting the shit on the truck, okay? One of the guys get left behind, and it just so happens to be one of the fucking black farmers that we all know, right? Like, what the fuck? So Ralph Angel calls over Prosper and Charlie so that they can assess what the hell is going on here. And the man gives, the black farmer gives this sad story about how he's been struggling. His farm hasn't been making it. And Landry said that he would help him if he would come over here and see what was going on and bring back some plants so he could see what it was that they were actually working with, to see how their farm was doing, checking up on them, basically paying one of the black farmers to infiltrate so that they can get information. It's so fucked up, and Charlie is not going for it. She's like, I don't give a fuck about his sad story. He is trying to take advantage of you. He is a man that will come on your property in the middle of the night where you and your son are sleeping and steal from you, and you want to let him go. And Ralph Angel is like, look, I know you don't understand this, but I believe in second chances. I believe that people need another chance, and that sometimes when you can't take care of your family, you will do things that you are not proud of. You understand me? Feel me? You know what I mean? And Charlie doesn't know that. She doesn't understand that thought process of being a man and being the one that feels responsible for taking care of their family. But I also believe that Charlie is right. You got to go in there in broad daylight and let them know. You can play with us if you want to, but I will bite your fucking head off. You may be a big fish in a small pond, but I'm a big fish in an even bigger fucking pond. Play with me if you want to, okay? They both went down there together to check the language and the Boudreaux eventually. And Charlie let Ralph know that she understands. She understands that she has to let him be a man. And she tells him that she will co-sign for him to get his macro loan. Then she takes Micah over to David's house and tells him that she will let him have joint custody. Not because she wants to do this for him, or not because he blackmailed her with the bank loan, because I forgot to mention it. But yeah, y'all, he knew about her signing his name to that bank loan, and he told her, if you don't let me have, joint custody, I'm gonna go to the bank on you, bitch. But he really wasn't gonna do that. And so she shows up and says, after assessing the situation with Micah, after seeing how in need he is of love from both of his parents, regardless of the fact that they're going through a divorce, she's going to give him joint custody. And I was like, thank you, Charlie, because you was really being a hood rat with your mind frame feeling like that man wasn't supposed to have joint custody. He needs to be in his father's life, and his daddy needs to have free reign to be around him. Davis made the best case to her about how she may not like her mom, but her mom got it right when it came to that. The only reason she was able to have the relationship she had with her daddy was because her mom allowed it. Her mom let it happen. And at first, Charlie wasn't trying to hear that shit. She spit that shit back in his face and told him to bring it on, bitch. But now she's, by the end of the episode, she cleared her head. She has looked at this situation and seen that her son needs his father as well as his mother, as well as his uncle, as well as his aunts. You know what I'm saying? He needs his whole family, because they ended up having like a party at the end of the episode for Hollywood, because everybody's bucked up their Hollywood's back, and him and Elvira together. And they had this little get together, this little party, and everybody's having a good time. And it's the first time that Charlie has seen Micah smile or laugh ever since this shit happened. You know what I mean? So I think that was when she got it in her head what she had to do. And also after she saw Ralph Angel tell her son, you know what, keep your head up, son. Keep your head up. I love you. Yeah, keep your head up. You're going to be all right. As another black man that's been in jail, and did some real time. He went to prison. It wasn't just, in a cell overnight. So I'm glad that she changed her mindset, y'all. But she also decided to give them a little space, because Hollywood and Elvira only got a little bit of time to get all of that nasty bumping and grinding going on, okay? Nova went to like a special event out of town in Atlanta for people in social justice. It was a panel discussion, and she meets this guy called Dr. Robert Dubois. Now, at the barbershop, Johans tried to hit on her, and she wasn't really trying to get into it. And I don't know if it was just you or just me, but I felt like she was particularly fucking mad white dudes and kind of passing over this nice black man. And I was like, what the fuck? But then she gets to this event and she meets Dr. Dubois, and they are on opposite spectrums of the same hue. Okay, I don't know how you can say that, but they, you know, they do this panel discussion, and he writes a paper, and she feels that what he's saying is okay, because he's talking about the health effects that when men spend time in prison, how they develop bad eating habits and bad lifestyle choices, and they get out and they bring this back into their families, back into their communities, and this cycle continues. And you know, there's actual scientific evidence of the effects it has on the mind, the body, whatever. Her point is, we need to be talking about the reasons why we're even in this situation in the first place. That's how she feels. And he feels like, okay, you want to look at it like the racism black white way. I'm not saying that there isn't racism, but what I'm saying is we're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to be better than that. We're supposed to rise to the occasion no matter what. And she's trying to make him understand that sometimes it's not that simple. Sometimes Mr. Whitey knows how powerful we could be, but he tries at every turn and every little way he possibly can to destroy the hope, to destroy the chance, to destroy the outcome of what it would be if we all really did stand up and felt equal and stop feeling so ostracized in a country that we helped build. You know what I mean? So the conversation is going back and forth, and he eventually throws out, you know, because he was at her event and she didn't know, and she started to talk about how her beautiful and calm and peaceful her event was. And he was like, yes, it was beautiful just like you, you know. And it was like, oh, he flirting and shit. And she was like, oh, I don't know if I'm liking him, but he's smart, so I'm intrigued. Then they meet up after for like dinner and have a conversation about, you know, how much money did she actually raise for her fundraiser. And it's nickel and diamond, but it'll save one dude. It'll get one dude out of jail, you know. And he's like, you know, what you're doing is you're running in a burning building, saving one baby at a time. I'm trying to keep the building from burning in the first damn place, okay? So even though they have different ideals, this is the first time that I think Nova was actually piqued in another way. Something besides just sex. Something besides just throwaway relationships. Somebody that she felt like she could have some type of intellectual, you know what I'm saying, orgasm with. You know what I mean? I peeped it. I saw it with his little chocolatey Dr. Dubois looking ass. All right. That was basically everything that happened on both episodes of Queen Sugar. A little review, recap, you know, pull it all together for y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.
On my mama, on my hood, I look